Cheers, legends. Sammy from Short and Stout Beer Reviews. I don't know if the lighting's a bit dodgy. It's definitely dodgy on my end, but it might be just a computer issue at the moment. Let us know if it looks the same as it normally does or it's real dull. But anyway, apologies for my tardiness again. It is work and it's overtime. I can't help it. But yeah, I'm here now. I just rescheduled this one for 25 minutes later and then the other one for like 20 minutes late. So we have a one drop Imperial Stout. It's called MONGREL. I've had it sitting in the fridge for about a month. I thought it's about time I drink it. It's known as a double-aged pastry stout. I'll read what it says on the back just because I know absolutely nothing about it. And the fact that it says double-aged pastry stout, it's like, is it double-aged on like, is it spirits? Like, or, Big wool strap in. Oh, shit. It says Big Wolf, but it's got an exclamation point next to it. It looked like it said Big Woolly. Big Wolf. Strap in for our first stout of the season. And by the heavens, this beast is an absolute boozy doozy. You might want to catch your breath for this one. MONGREL is a juxtaposition of chaos and beauty, a 12-grain imperial stout base employing a collective 18-hour boil with hot side additions of milk sugar, cocoa nibs, lightly toasted coffee beans, and coconut flakes. Big oof, I think it says. It's a bit hard to read on that corner. After extensive conditioning in primary stainless, we've then gone and blended and transferred into a plethora of cocoa beans, vanilla paste, marshmallow fluff, candy syrup, and burnt brown sugar. We loaded this MONGREL up with everything we could find. It's a dog's world. We just live in it. It's pretty cool. So, yes, that's the can artwork. Yeah, my it's like it's real faint on my end. Maybe that's a bit better. It's just the lighting just seems even more dull than it normally is. I might make a little adjustment. No. No, it's not much better. Anyway, let's get into it. I'm thirsty. Yeah, it wasn't too bad of a day at work, actually. Like, this week's been good. I've been learning a heap of new skills, so I've got a few extra things I can add to the resume this year, which is always handy. But yeah, it's a lot to take in. I think the older you get learning new skills, it's even harder. Hello, Angus. So, that lighting just looks so shit. I don't know what's going on. I'll end up accidentally turning it off or something. Yeah. Just going to have to bear with me on this one. I don't know why it's the way it is. No. No. Oh, that's getting better. Ah, fuck it. No, well, it's I haven't adjusted anything and it's just changed for some reason. I just don't think it's got extensive like settings where you can adjust it. So yeah, I don't know. I need a separate camera. It's a 1 drop beer in a slow lane glass. Funnily enough, slow lane is just around the corner from 1 drop. Cheers, John. I haven't actually said hello to anyone. I'm just so scattered with this lighting and like rushing home from work. So yeah, I'll go through the chat first, shall I? Cheers, Connie. You're dead to me. Cheers, buddy. Phil. Evie. I think most of these comments were before I started. Sorry, Adam. It's probably when I was rushing home. Probably hadn't checked the phone. Yes. Always working. And then yeah, that's when I quickly jumped on here. Coolio. Haven't missed anyone. Let's get into it. So it's like jet black in colour. As far as body goes, I would say like looks more light to medium. Yeah, not much of a head to it. Light carbonation. Yeah, it's obviously opaque due to the colour. Let's go with. I'm expecting a lot of complexity. Very vanilla and coconut and marshmallow forward. I have eaten Evie, but I haven't had enough. I need to have more. Yeah. Cheers, Disco. Hopefully the brewery's going well. Oh, it smells really good. I don't know if I mentioned the percentage, 11.1. Sorry, this has been a bit of a scattered intro. I'll get better. Maybe I just need that first sip just to. So yeah, I feel like it's got a good roasty base, but because of the adjuncts, it's quite sweet. You're getting like definitely big chocolate and caramel. Chocolate from the malt and from the actual cocoa nibs. Caramel from the base, maybe a touch of coffee. It's got that real pastry edge to it. Ah, cheers. So Disco's birthday was yesterday, was it? Happy birthday, Disco. And yeah, if I've missed a stream of yours, it was probably when it was bedtime for me. Get back to work, Harry Meadows. You bloody drunk. When's those Ramsbury spirits getting to Australia? Yeah, 2075. They're currently they're currently docked at fucking Vanuatu. Cronulla Sharks, NRL team. Funnily enough, they're not. Oh, they are a team I sort of barrack for. So NRL's the National Rugby League. I was always a Sharks fan as a kid because, like, it was always just Queensland and Actually, in the early days, it was just New South Wales teams, and then it was New South Wales and Queensland. I was more of an AFL fan, but I liked rugby league as well. And yeah, Sharks were the team I picked as a kid, and I went for them right up until teenage years, and then obviously Melbourne come into the comp, and it was real tough because I loved the Sharks, but it's like I'm patriotic, so it's like I sort of have to go for the Melbourne team because it's local. So I started barracking for Storm, but I still have a soft spot for the Sharkies. It's hard when they play each other. Cool. Happy birthday for Sunday, dude. Let's have a sip of this beer. Buddy, how long in am I? 12 minutes and I haven't even tasted it yet. That is ridiculous. Cheers. Ooh, damn you, mongrel. That is bitey. Massive coconut. Absolutely huge. It's like Bounty Bar Supreme. You're getting the vanilla and the marshmallow, which adds to the sweetness, and it makes it sort of like a milk chocolate. But because the coconut is so fierce, it's just like, yeah, it just tastes like milk chocolate and coconut. Just boom. And if you like coconut, you will love this beer. Oh, so decadent. Definitely a desserty boy. Cheers, Stewie. 4.7. I've had a few 4.7s lately. You filthy mongrel. Yeah. It needs the word filthy in front of it. This will certainly warm the cockles. It's it says on my computer it's currently 8 degrees. It definitely feels colder than that. I walked home in it and it was way colder than 8. They're probably lucky that it's got such a complex, like big multi base, because the adjuncts are so big and sweet. It would have just been so unbalanced if it didn't have a huge base. But yeah, one drop must do so much trial and error. I reckon they'd almost have to do these small batch beers first, unless they just go fuck it. We know what we're doing. We're gonna just wing it. There's got to be beers out there though where they've spent so much on adjuncts and it goes to shit. Yeah, it's definitely cold. Whew. If I had time tonight, I was gonna have a hot shower before I started this shit, but No. 20 and 21. Yep. Yeah, we had like thunder and like real intense winds last night and thunder. Who knows with the hops in this one? I don't think it really matters. It's just so loaded with like, yeah, different flavors like your cocoa nibs and vanilla and marshmallow and coconut. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen a couple of them at different places. I'm trying to find a place where because there's some Banks beers I want at the moment and a few other beers, and I'm trying to find it so I can get a collective of them all at the same place. So even if I could just get one of those one drops somewhere where I can get the Banks beers, and yeah, I'll do an order. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get the Big Bad Wolf easily. It's just, yeah, those two sours. They both sound really good, those sours. One of them had like black currant, and I think, yeah, one had like some sort of vanilla custard, and yeah, it sounded awesome. No, I did not. No, because I went to bed so late, I ended up sleeping in. But I grabbed a few essentials tonight. Yeah, I'm just gonna go. I got shit to get me through tomorrow and like dog food and stuff, so I'll be right till the weekend. I'm gonna cook myself up a stir fry tomorrow before work. Yeah, exactly. Like if there's a few beers in your head that you want, you sort of want to get them like, yeah, if you only want singles, you want to get them all at the one store. So you're just putting in one order and you can get a discount for buying like a dozen or whatever. That's normally what I do at Carwyn Cellars or Otter's Promise. But yeah, I think I'm going to go through Carwyn this time because I reckon they've got all the Banks beers I want, and I think they had at least one or two of those one drops. Cool. The old Katy Perry chicken. And yeah, surprise, surprise. Tonight's Mountain Culture beer is a IPA again. So just fingers crossed that the finale, which will be tomorrow night, is a impy. I reckon it will be. They've got to have an impy stout in the box. It'd be shit if they didn't. It looks really cool, the font on this back of the can. Sort of gives me like Halloween vibes. It's cool. Pop that down there. Nah, as far as beers go, I definitely need some smasher beers for the weekend. I've got quite a few singles from buying like cheap beers at Aldi. and there's a particular brand at Aldi called Rivet, and it's like Vietnamese beers. They're pretty average, but there's one other style of their beers that I've seen there. So if I'm thinking about getting them as a smasher beer, and then keeping one of the singles, and then I'll have all their singles. So I'm going to do a review of all the Rivet beers. There's about five all up, just as like a side by side. They'll be lucky to get 3 out of 5 to score, but it'll just be an interesting review, like something different. Yep. Yeah, Nectaron's pretty good. Yep. Cool. Cool. Styrian's like Eastern European, isn't it? I know the other two are obviously English hops. Styrian and Styrian Wolf or whatever it's called. Yeah, it just tastes like a bounty bar, honestly. You could bring up the advertisement of the people laying on the beach. And it's good quality coconut. You know how sometimes you'll get like a beer that advertises as coconut and it tastes like suntan lotion? This is like decent quality. Like it feels like it's good quality coconut that they've toasted. Yeah. I still haven't listened to Sabbath since Ozzy's passing. I've been wanting to crank him, but it's a bit hard when you're at work all the time. You're never at home. Yeah, for sure. Really? Wow. Where about? What were the locations? So the worst thing, because craft beer is so expensive, the whole fucking industry could collapse just due to people not being able to afford to drink that sort of stuff. And it doesn't help with all these kids these days. Like half of them don't even drink, so it's like if you regular craft beer drinkers aren't drinking as much as they used to, it's like they've got no other option because all the young ones coming through just they won't even drink a fucking macro beer, let alone a craft beer. Yeah, Slovenian, that's it. Yeah. Yeah. I knew if I did a chug to an Aussie song it would get some like traction. And I'd already done a couple of Sabbath songs and um yeah, I'd done an Aussie one ages ago and the Sabbath one, so I thought I'll do a different Aussie one. Fuck, I can't even remember the name of the song. Oh, my memory is shot. But yeah, like a very basic. Just bloody sang a few lines of the song, sculled a beer, and it got like 1,400 views or something. The shorts are just nuts. It's a good way just to, yeah, try and get some new people to check out your shit. Yeah, exactly. You'll find most people that work in those places these days, Disco, they're not even beer people. Yeah. Most of the kids I come into, like most of the kids in my workplace, I'm at a big workplace. Most of the kids there, like some of them drink. If they drink, they'll drink like what we used to consider girly drinks. They'll drink like, yeah, all the cruisers and those sort of drinks. Like all the guys are drinking the girly drinks now, and or they're drinking, yeah, like your, yeah, Jim Beams and that sort of stuff. They don't really touch beer, but most, in all honesty, don't even really drink. They just, I just can't understand why. Like, if you're an 18-year-old boy, it seems like these days it's just normal to just be hanging at home with your family. It's like I couldn't think, I couldn't think of anything worse. When I was 18, I was just like, I'm fucking out of here. I'm going to live life. I'm doing anything I can to, yeah, just be out and about and doing shit. Like, why would you want to be just at home and playing games and, yeah, like with your family and not with your mates? I don't get it. It's just a completely different world. I mean, obviously, the pandemic had a lot to do with it, but I just don't, yeah. Like, even like Rate My Beer in particular, like, I love that family, awesome people, but you see like young SJ hanging out with his mum and dad all the time, and it's like, why isn't he out like hanging out with his mates? But it's just like a normal thing now. Cool. Geez, you've gone into full detail there. Aberdeen flagship. Yeah, the fact that it's a Scottish one, that's pretty bad. Brighton, Camden, see places like that you can expect, and London. Yeah, like Leeds and Sheffield and that, they got so much on offer as far as beer. I always Shepherd's Bush, for some reason, I always think of the band The Darkness. I think that's where they're from. And I've heard a lot of people too say there's a lot of Aussies in Shepherd's Bush. If you go to the pubs there, apparently heaps of Aussies work in the pubs in that area. Yeah. Yeah, all over it, Adam. Good work, mate. Gave me a good indication of where things are. Hmm. See, yeah, Black Sabbath is one of my favourite bands of all time, and I love Ozzy, but because I'm a guitar guy, Tony Iommi for me, like I'd be more upset if Tony went than Ozzy. In my opinion, I reckon Sabbath are the first ever metal band. They didn't get enough credit for that. You get all these other fuckwit bands going, nah, we were the first metal band. It's like, no, you weren't. Yeah, Aberdeen, definitely. Camden, you can sort of imagine because there's so much going on in that area. It's like people will probably see it just as another bar and don't really give a fuck about it. But Aberdeen just being one of the sort of bigger Scottish cities and that, what you'd think people would be loyal to the brand, but it's probably just people just can't afford to go and drink as much anymore, and there's probably a lot of lower income people in countries like Scotland. Yeah, fucking oath. Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, it's where you go out and you meet new people and you hook up with people and yeah, you get up to mischief. What's the joy in hanging at home with your parents when you're at that age? Even if you're like, yeah, I obviously for me, family issues and that, I couldn't give a fuck about them. But even if you're real close with your family, it's like you get to that age and it's like yeah, experiencing new things and living life. And most people want to sort of get away from, in my day, most people wanted to get away and go do stuff with their mates. Casks or casks? Oh, yeah. Yeah, they might have just played some gigs in that area, or I've heard them talking about that area or something. Yeah, cool. So it's like sort of place where there's a heap of music and shit on. That's my kind of suburb. Sounds like Sydney. You're not allowed to get a drink after 10 p.m. We're closing all the pubs. Everyone's got to get off the street. Well, come to Melbourne and get lit at 5 a.m. if you like. Yeah, fucking oath. Yeah, we have Brisbane. Um, Brisbane's the original. Then the second one was, I think it was somewhere in Sydney. And then I reckon the third was Melbourne, is in Pentridge. And then Fortitude Valley up in Brisbane. I've got a feeling there's either four or five. Hmm. I've been to two of them. They're really good, like venues and good food. Yeah, the beer selection's nothing special, but when I went to the Brisbane one, I was actually like somewhat impressed. The Melbourne one, the venue's sick as because it's in an old prison. Yeah, don't even get me started on that shit. Yeah, fucking oath. The days of King's Cross and the glory nightlife, that's way gone. Yeah, when I went to the Parkway gig at Opera House. I got out at a decent time to go and get on it at some pubs. And I'm walking around the streets and there's like restaurants open and 7-Elevens and like fucking gaming places and every pub's shut. I'm like, this place is fucked. I can't even get a beer at like fucking 10:30 at night. Oh, okay. Yep. Yep. Back to the beer. If you haven't hit the old thumbs up, feel free to do so. Very nice beer. I feel like most of my friends in the community would like this sort of thing. Maybe if you're not much of a sweet tooth, it may not be for you because it does have a bit of sweetness, but who doesn't like a little chocolate and coconut? Come on. But yeah, if this was on a rum or a bourbon barrel, it'd be absolutely phenomenal. It's going to be weird though, because the beer I was reviewing first before the Mountain Culture Christmas in July beer was always going to be depending on the style of the Mountain Culture one. When I opened it up and seen it was a New England IPA, I'm like, okay, well, I'm not having an IPA for this beer. I'm going to get something else. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm doing this Imperial Stout. So I'm having this big Imperial Stout and then going to go back to a New England. Yeah, that's fucked though. Like, what gives them the right to be able to open? What just it's ridiculous. Like, why? Just because it's like a gay club, it's allowed to open late, but normal pubs aren't allowed to. It's bullshit. Yeah. For those of you that know the Guinness Guru, he's yeah, big tall unit from Ireland. He's probably like similar age to me, I reckon. He goes around. Originally, he used to go around Ireland and try and Guinness at all the pubs, and yeah, just rating it, giving it a score, and yeah, he'd have a bit of like banter and stuff. People reckon he's arrogant. He probably does come across a bit cocky, but I've always thought he's okay. Well, anyway, he's in Australia at the moment, and yeah, I've been watching a bit of his content. I think he's going to have a YouTube video all about different cities in Australia. And yeah, he's been banging on about Melbourne. He's gone to a heap of pubs here, and it's like, oh, like some of them I've been to and I can relate to, but there's a few that I'm like, fuck, I need to check that out. Like it looks awesome. Unfortunately, though, they're all in the sort of St Kilda area, and that's where all the fucking backpackers are, like the English and Irish backpackers. It's a bit of a, it's a very, it's a very busy nightlife area, but it's also pretty. It's got some rough sort of history, and yeah, I'll have to get over there again. I do enjoy St Kilda, but yeah, it's not really the place to if you just want a sort of quiet beer and relax. It's more you go in there with your mates and you're getting fucked up. Yeah. One thing Guinness Guru says it's definitely makes sense. He goes, he hates when pubs get renovated and they just change into this different sort of entity and they got like fucking poker machines and all that shit. And it's like, I can totally see what he means. Like, you love it's so good to go into a pub with history and authenticity and like you've got these fucking small little corridors and like jagged edges and crooked floors and just like a I don't know, like weird smells. It's cool. I love that shit. That's what I'm looking forward to when I go to the UK. Just being able to go into these real old buildings. Yeah, yeah, probably. I just went to the public toilets in in like my small country town just the other day, like the first time I've been in them for ages. And they had, I think, all up there's 12 different toilets. You've got one main men's urinal, but it just says urinal room. And then you've got like a big toilet room that says women's. And there's no one that just said men's. It was just that urinal one. And then on the front, it was like women's, mixed, like, oh, I didn't say mixed gender. It said, I don't know, something like that. And it's like, there wasn't even like a fucking just a men's toilet by itself, except for the urinal one. Fucked up world. Yeah, what's he just goes by his name now, doesn't he? Yeah. Yeah, fucking pokey machines. Couldn't think of anything worse. And that's another thing the young boys do now. if they if they're not the ones that are sitting at home with their parents, they're fucking wasting their paychecks on pokey machines. When I was younger, if I gambled, it'd be on the horses, not fucking sitting at the machines. But I respect the ones that are playing pokey machines because they're getting on the beers and getting out there. Good on them. Yeah. The funny thing now, our toilets at work, we're in our cubicles now, in all our toilets at work. It has this picture now where it's got how to sit on the toilet. Oh shit. Because we've got like people from all different ethnic backgrounds. Like, it's getting more and more common now. There's obviously some particular people that they've employed that don't sit on the toilet properly. They'll get up like the old school fucking Chinese, Indian way, or whoever does it. When you stand up on the toilet seat and you're like dumping from a height, and obviously the cleaners are fed up with it because they're having to fucking clean up the mess. So it's got a picture of like a stick figure sitting on the toilet like just normally, and then with a tick, and then the one's crouching down but standing up on the toilet seat. I'm just like, oh, what sort of place do we live in where we have to fucking explain that shit to people? Yeah, apparently it's been happening a bit. If I remember, I'll take a photo of the illustration and show you. Oh, God, that's fucked. Yeah. I believe him. It's just like all all those people that put mirrors on their roofs in their bedroom. They want to witness themselves performing the act. Yes. Suppose I should get through this beer and move on to the next one. Good thing is, though, it's not even midnight yet. Last night I was starting my first beer in about an hour from now. That's awesome. I went to a pub once where it was like a club, like a club where you have live bands. I can't. I think it was in like suburbs of Melbourne somewhere, or maybe Sydney. Can't remember where it was, but anyway, when you go into the bathroom, it was sort of like in an outside area, but it had like roofing, so sort of like a big, I don't know, a patio sort of area where they'd have like fires and like those big fire things they have in the outdoor areas. And anyway, the when you went into the toilets and stood at the urinal and pissed, you were looking out to the crowd. But like it was weird because they're right there, and you'd think they'd be up. Like it was only sort of from like there up. But like, how weird would it be if they could see this big row of men all standing, like looking at him? But apparently, it was like glass where you could only sort of see out. So it was almost like, yeah, like if you were pissing, like you could sort of see the band playing and the people in the crowd, and yeah, I don't know, it was real weird. Like at actually, I think Adam got to witness it at Boat Rocker Brewery. They have like you pissing into old kegs. That's pretty cool. Yeah, like the urinals are made out of like it's like an old keg shaped into like the tiling in the bathroom. Yeah. Yeah. I might wrap this up and let's get into the next beer, eh? So, yeah, thoughts on this one. It's sweet. It's probably just that little bit too much sweet, but all in all, a good beer. I think if the sweetness was just dialed down a little bit, or maybe there was a bit more intense roast. So it's like the balance is just slightly out. Like I love this sort of thing, but I just feel like the sweetness with this one's just a little bit too much. So um yeah, flavour wise, brilliant. Like milk chocolate, caramel, yeah, like burnt sugar, a little bit of coffee. Yeah, even like biscuity pastry sort of thing. And then yeah, you're getting like huge coconut. Coconut for me is the main flavour in the whole beer. And then chocolate's probably next. So that's why I described it as like a bounty bar. Yeah, vanilla and marshmallow, which has added that sweetness, like elevated that. You didn't really get any dark fruit or anything like. It's more about the adjuncts and the base, but the base is pretty strong to support it. Um, would have been nice if it was a bit more fuller. The body was fairly thin, but yeah, yeah. As I said, if it was barrel aged in like a rum or a bourbon, would have been awesome. But yeah, still rate it highly. I'm gonna give it a 4.4. And as I said, if you like a stout and you're a big fan of coconut and you can get hold of some one drop, I would highly recommend trying it. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for chiming in, peeps, and feel free to come and join us for the next one. I'll start it in about 5 minutes. So yeah, that'll be Mountain Culture Christmas in July, day 7, and there's 8 days up, 8 days all up. So it's the second last one for the box, and yeah, it's a New England IPA. Not sure of the percentage or the hops in it, but yeah, all I know is that it's a hazy boy. So yeah, check us out in about 5 minutes. If not, we'll see you next time. Cheers, peeps.